Today on Monkey Life. It's close to journey's end for a special air delivery as Alison goes to collect a group of 5 loris, all the way from Hong Kong.
Hey guys. Oh, look at you, pole dancer.
Plus, anxious moments at the park's hospital as the team investigate what could be causing problems for Capuchin Tao.
I don't see much difference there.
And after a breakfast feast at the orangs, Gordon shows off his skills on the high wire. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
I think this one's a little boy, and I think that one over there might be an older lady.
The park provides a home for more than 250 monkeys and apes from 20 different species. It's cold, dark, and very early as Park Director Alison arrives at London Heathrow's Animal Reception Centre. She's made the 100-mile journey from Dorset to collect 5 slow loris who've been flown all the way from a rescue sanctuary in Hong Kong.
Good morning. You all right? How are you?
Yeah, fine, thanks.
Good. Hey, you haven't arrived yet? And hoping.
Not very excited.
Okay.
No, they're still over in the sheds. They're waiting for the driver to go and pick them up.
Okay. Plane's landed. The loris are definitely on board, but they haven't made it around to the reception center yet. So now it's just a very exciting waiting game because I've got my pass and the doors are opening and hopefully the loris will be here shortly so I can just look in and see that they're all fit and well. But exciting time.
This transfer is the culmination of almost 2 years of planning and hard work by all involved. The loris, 3 males and 2 females, are part of a collaboration between Monkey World and Sheldon Wildlife Trust in Devon. Sheldon have looked after a number of loris and recently rehomed Boo, the slow loris Alison rescued from the Maldives 2 years ago. Nick Dunn from the Trust has also come along to see the loris arrive.
We don't have any facilities for quarantine, so I've contacted Alison previously, obviously when we had the situation with Boo in the Maldives, and knowing the history at Monkey World and what they do so well, we were able to work together in getting these animals out of the situations that they were in, into quarantine at Monkey World, and then out to us at Sheldon, where they will live for the rest of their lives as a breeding group, or breeding pairs, anyway, yeah.
They're fit and healthy. And,
yeah. They look fantastic condition. They look really...
All 5 loris were stolen from the wild by black market traders before eventually being confiscated by the authorities in Hong Kong. Like most pet trade primates, initially the loris were in very poor condition, but they're now fit and healthy, thanks to the care staff at Kadoorie Farm, the rescue centre which looked after them there. These loris are a vulnerable species, so the hope is to pair up 2 of the males and females from the 5, and then the final male will join Boo.
It's worked out now that we have a good number of breeding pairs in the population to begin this breeding programme, really as a safety net population for the slow loris, and also so that we can improve husbandry and improve people's awareness about this amazing animal.
As daylight breaks, the wait is over.
This is it. Van's just rolled up. Drivers confirm. Got our loris on board, all ready to go, and we'll get them into the reception center and then I can have a quick look.
Before the loris can be released into Alison's care, the paperwork has to be completed. Then there's just time to give her new arrivals a quick look over.
You're a star. Thank you very much. All looking good, yeah. No, all 5 loris look really good. Everybody's chosen different sleeping position. We have one clinging to a pole, one of the ladies clinging to a pole. The blokes are either sort of up on the shelf or down on the ground, but everybody's looking pretty relaxed and very nice. So now we just have to get them loaded up in the van and we're back to Dorset.
Hey guys. Oh, look at you, pole dancer.
At last, the Loris are given the all clear and loaded carefully into the van, ready for the final leg of their epic journey. In a few hours' time, these 5 little primates will arrive at Monkey World and start the next chapter of their lives. It's breakfast time over at Gordon's enclosure. Fruit is a big part of an orangutan's diet, and today it's oranges and pears. But the group are also going to get the added bonus of willow browse. To encourage them to be more active, the willow branches are being placed high up on the platforms by Jarno from the primate care team.
Why we put it up high is just basically so when they come out, they can have fun swinging around, and everybody, they like climbing around if there's food up high.
There are 4 adult orangutans in this group. Gordon and his 3 ladies, Amy, Xiaolan and Lucky. All of them appreciate a good variety of menu choice. Almost all the food eaten by orangs in the wild grows in treetops, so tasks like this help encourage natural behaviour. Lucky has made straight for the willow browse and looks around nervously for somewhere she can eat it in peace. Gordon goes for the lowdown option first. Orangutans have incredible hand dexterity, so he finds it easy getting to the fruit, although he's not so keen on the orange peel. Xiaolan, on the other hand, can't get enough of the willow. Amy has stripped her branch completely bare already. Gordon tries the browse, but he's really not impressed. All the more for Xiaolan, who quickly picks up Gordon's discarded branch. It means there's plenty too for agile Lucky. As the lowest ranker in the group, she needs to keep her distance or the others will bully her. Gordon's found more fruit, but this time he's had to make a little more effort to reach it. Amy's lost interest in today's delicacies and takes a moment to have a little nap instead. Food forgotten, Xiaolan is mesmerised by an unexpected visitor, a passing deer grazing nearby, who seems captivated by the hairy orange orangs. Having managed to consume plenty of breakfast up high, Lucky comes back down to earth. Just as Gordon burns some calories by showing off his balancing act. Pretty nifty when you weigh in at almost 100 kilos. After years of planning and preparation, a 6,000-mile, 24-hour journey is nearly complete for the Hong Kong Loris. To everyone's relief and excitement, they've arrived at the park.
Hi. Are you good?
Yeah, we're good to go. Karen's just put a bit of food in and we're good.
Okay. Why don't we all step inside? We'll leave them quiet for just a moment.
An unused section of the park's hospital has been converted into the new Loris complex. The team have thought of everything, even down to red lighting for these nocturnal creatures. The first big decision to make is deciding who goes where.
Males on one side, doesn't matter.
I don't think it matters particularly. You'll
At
get them
this
whistling to
point.
each other. I think the girls one side, the boys the other.
All 5 Loris have travelled in the same box, but in separate compartments. Identifying who's who, male or female, and in which compartment requires careful attention. Alison and Nick attempt to work it out.
There's a female, she's got quite dark markings.
We don't know who we eventually want to mix with who. So what we're going to do is put the ladies on this side, and then we have to shuffle the box backwards and forwards to decant the right individual to the right cage. So it's a case of matching up all of the information to get them into the right cage here at the house.
Yep, keep going.
Yep.
You're good. Oh, there you were awake. Hey, mister.
But the next task of enticing the Loris out of the safety of their box proves rather challenging.
Loris aren't the easiest things to work with insofar as handling. They are really, really tough little things. They're a little bit like wombats. They're really strong, muscly creatures, and they've also got these amazing capillaries in their hands, which means that they can hang onto a branch for dear life, even when they go into torpor in the winter. So if their whole body really shuts down, that grip is still vice-like, and they can just hang onto a branch for days and days and days on end. And when you're trying to move a loris and it's holding onto something like that, the loris is always going to win.
We could go red light and see if it helps.
By turning on the red lamps, Alison hopes the darkness will help to settle the naturally nocturnal loris. However, it's a battle of wills, and Alison is losing.
Who's going to let go first?
It will be.
You think it'll be me?
After 20 minutes of gentle persuasion, the first of the loris is brave enough to check out their new home.
Well done.
That's a big loris.
Yeah, see what I can managed to get the first one out. Jeremy's undoing the screws for the second one, and we'll try it from a different approach this time. Hopefully it'll be a bit gentler and quicker, because last thing we want to do is stress these guys after such a long journey. But 1 down, 4 to go.
The red lighting seems to have done the trick. The remaining 4 are a lot quicker to come out, and all seem calm and relaxed, and eager to explore their new surroundings.
It's really difficult to tell with loris anything. It's really difficult to tell what sex they are, it's really difficult to tell how old they are, it's really difficult to tell what kind of loris they are. But what's not too difficult is to find out whether a loris is happy or not. It's sometimes pretty easy. And all of those 5 loris just look like they're settling in well. They've obviously had a really traumatic trip, and now they're in somewhere new. They're in a completely different environment to what they're used to, but they all seem to have settled in as best as we could expect.
Over the next few weeks, the team will monitor their individual behaviour and temperaments, work out names, and decide who can be paired with who. It's hoped one day these special loris will successfully breed and help to secure the future of their species. But for now, they can relax and explore their new surroundings. At the park, there are 5 Capuchin groups. 3 of these South and Central American primate troops are based at the Capuchin complex. Today, Franco's gang are in for a rare treat. It's one of their favourites, rose hips. Because the fruit is seasonal, the Capuchins don't get them very often. It's rich in vitamin C, very sweet, and has a tangy orangey red skin, which helps keep the clever Capuchins busy.
Franco's group is probably the youngest one that we've got within the park. It's got quite an even distribution of males and females. They're definitely the most energetic, they're up for anything, they're just great to watch.
Franco became the leader of the group when he ousted his brother Winslow last year. He's well liked by everyone, and of course, he gets first pickings of the tasty treats. Fabian, another of the dominant males in the group, mimics wild Capuchin behaviour by banging his rosehip on the wooden platform to get at the seeds more easily. Whereas impatient Felipe just uses his razor-sharp teeth to tear into the succulent flesh.
The rose hips are quite seedy. It's something they don't get very often, so you'll find them picking them apart to have a good look at what's inside before they just eat it all in one go. Some of them will chew the fruit and then spit the seeds out, or some of them will rub them or squash them to separate the fruit from the seeds. So it's interesting to see that different type of feeding behaviour from them.
William's preference is definitely for the seeds. He carefully picks them out to eat before the skin. High-ranking female Elisa favours the rosehip's skin and eagerly devours the seedless leftovers. But not everyone has a liking for rosehips. Lucy would rather spend her time and energy foraging for tasty bugs and worms in the grass. Some of the rosehips are in challenging locations, but Capuchins have excellent colour vision, and Olive easily spots the bright red fruit. She manages to collect it without even getting her toes wet.
Capuchins aren't hugely fond of the water, but if there's food in there, they venture over. It makes them work a little bit more for their food, and it's something different for them as well. During the feeding, the group was really nice and calm, which is really great to see from these guys, because you do see a bit of squabbling, a bit of competition over the food, but actually when the rose hips went in, we didn't have that today. They all just ambled about and they all just took their turn at feeding, so that's great for the group.
At the Stump-Tailed Macaques enclosure, the 8 ugly monkeys, as they're affectionately known, also have a seasonal treat in store. Steph is putting out pumpkins as a form of enrichment to brighten up their day. But, in addition, she's hoping it'll motivate the Stumpies to get moving.
The Stumpies are basically built for sitting. They have those big sitting pads on their bums and they like to sit on them and just basically forage in the area around where they're sitting. So it can be a challenge to get them up and get them active, and especially with some of our slightly heavier guys, it's nice to get them kind of up and moving. So yeah, anything we can put out into the outside enclosure is a really good enrichment.
The group are getting on in age. All are over 20 years old. The eldest is Flo. She arrived at the park 3 years ago from a rescue centre in Munich. Being the lowest ranking member of the group, she's often let out in advance of the others to give her first pickings before the high-ranking, more dominant members take control.
She's a smart girl. She knows when the food's out. She has to take what she can while she can and then steer clear while the dominants are having their share.
With Flo eating happily, the rest of the group are let loose. For the moment, dominant male Sam is more interested in rolling the pumpkin than eating it. Low-ranking Charlie scoffs as much as she can, before moving out of Sylvie's way when she decides to muscle in. Noreen can't get enough and makes the most of having one to herself.
Everything's all about the food for these guys. They're very, very greedy. They eat at any opportunity, and they're natural foragers, so any time they think they can get some food, that's what they'll spend their time doing. And they've got nice, sharp, powerful teeth, so they'll use those to chew into anything a bit tougher. So it's really great to see Charlie using her teeth to really get going on the pumpkin, really get into it. She looked like she was having quite a good time today.
But for some, the interest in the bright orange pumpkins is starting to wane. So to keep them happy and on the move, Steph throws in sliced oranges and lemons. Sylvie shows surprising agility to reach this new citrus treat. While leader Sam is intent on cramming in as much as he can. Stumpies are great hoarders. They have big cheek pouches enabling them to store large amounts of food to eat later while on the move.
It's a really sort of efficient tactic, particularly for the lower-ranking individuals. If they see something nice and the dominant guys haven't spotted it yet, it can just go straight into the cheek pouch and nobody knows what you've got sitting in there and you can eat it later at your leisure.
High-ranking Noreen has stayed put, still very taken with her pumpkin. While low-ranking Charlie has secured a piece for later.
They're never going to be the most friendly, they're never going to want cuddles and love or anything like that, but that actually gives them a certain kind of charm. You know, they are the grumpy monkeys and they have a lot of character and a lot of attitude, and I really like that about them.
Down at the Capuchin complex, Tao's group are enjoying a little bit of R&R. He's the leader of a troop of 18, and he's backed up by his number 2, Bruce. The rest of the bunch are all females.
Tao is adored by all his girls. They love him. He's always been followed by a little group of females. It's often known as the Tao train, really, because he has Tao plus a gang of girls going everywhere behind him. Bruce very much accepts that Tao is in charge of everything, and yeah, the group works very well in that respect.
Tao has been at the park since 2011. He was rescued from a house in Slovenia, where he'd been kept as a pet in the basement for 6 years.
Okay, here's the Tao.
Hello, my boy. Now, Tao, here we go.
His condition at the time was extremely poor. He was undernourished and had no muscle tone or strength due to lack of exercise. More worryingly, his skeleton was badly deformed, caused by a bad diet and lack of vitamin D from natural sunlight, crucial for growth in capuchins.
We have some friends for you.
Yes.
He would like that.
You will have a good time, Tao.
Yeah.
Jeremy was right. He has thrived at the park and is adored by his entourage. Although Tao's muscle mass and bones are much improved, his spine will always be deformed. This hasn't stopped him living a full and happy life. But just recently, something has changed.
Tao appears to be quite lame, particularly on his back right leg. Now, obviously, because of his history and since he arrived, Tao has always had limited mobility. So we just want to try and get to the bottom of what's been going on with Tao, and particularly with his history, to make sure we can sort of treat it if possible and sort of get him back to his old self.
Today, the team are going to investigate what's causing Tao's problems. He's sedated, placed in a travel crate and taken to the park's hospital for a checkup. Local vet Dave Harding has been called in. He's going to have to work quickly as Tao's only been given a light anaesthetic. Dave is taking a series of x-rays, which he can compare with some taken about 4 years ago. Any significant change or degeneration in Tao's spinal condition should stand out.
That's fused there, but I mean, that's minimal. And it's exactly the same. I don't see much difference there. OK, let's try and do the other view.
Dave wants to take another x-ray from a different angle. It's not easy. The severe deformity of Tao's spine makes it awkward to get him into a secure and safe position. But this x-ray doesn't shed any light on why Tao is struggling either. It's not bad news, but with no explanation for Tao's deterioration, Dave wants a second opinion.
What we'll probably do is get these x-rays sent off to some human counterparts who they'll perhaps give us some insight into it. The long and the short of it is that it's unlikely that anything short of major surgery is going to be beneficial here, and that's not something that we would usually contend with in a patient like this, just because of the aftercare involved.
Despite his appearance, Tao is quite young, and the team are anxious to get to the bottom of his condition. In the meantime, he'll need to be carefully managed and monitored. And back at the Capuchin complex, his group of 16 adoring girls will be happy to spoil him too.